Hey everyone, and welcome back to another CZN video. So in today's video, guys, I want to talk about two things mainly. One is how to get better save data for your characters, and how to build up characters by going through chaos. So the reason why you're going to want to do this is there's certain, there's certain adventures or tasks that you need to do in this growth guide, and one of them is achieving this simulation mode where you have to have two teams built. I believe this opens up at level 40. The rewards in here are also pretty good. You get a lot of crystals, and then you get this currency that you can use in the shop, but it requires two teams. And there might be cases where you don't really use a character often, right? Like for me, Beryl doesn't have any save data. So if I wanted to build her up, I would go into a chaos run and try and get better save data with her. But before you do that, there's a couple things that you should be doing. The first one is you should always go to this diner, and before you do a run, you should always come in here and eat something, right? Whether it's defense and health to everybody, whether it's, certain damage multipliers to the element of character that you're using, all of these things kind of matter. I think a good general one to do is to just do the HP and the defense. So for 2 chaos runs, you have that ability. The other one that you really want to pay attention to is this counseling. I don't think a lot of people really realize what the counseling does, but if you go through a chaos run and one of your characters goes into a mental breakdown, even if they come out of it, right? And let's say you clear chaos, if they went through the mental breakdown and you don't have counseling, none of your save data is going to save. None of it. So you have to have counseling available in order to save the data after they go through the mental breakdown. So that's really important. I found that out the other day. I was just like, oh yeah, that's why that's not working. So depending on where you are at in your account level, you can be in just regular chaos, or you can do zero system. If you have zero system unlocked, you should be doing it. You have way better rewards in here. You have opportunities to upgrade, some of the boosts that you get in zero system, which is a byproduct of getting better save data for your characters. So you have these upgrades, and one of the things that you get on the second one is whenever you enter into chaos, it increases the chance of a God's Emissary encounter, which is just a boost to your character right off the bat. So I don't want to keep this video super long, but what I do want to show you is how I kind of prioritize doing this to my characters. So I'm going to try and level up Beryl, right? And she's blue. So because I'm going to be targeting her, she's going to be doing the most damage for my team. So I'm going to pick a codex where she's going to do the most damage. There's another way of doing this as well. If you have a very strong red character built up or a very strong light character built up, you can choose those levels as well, because then they can carry you while you're building up your Beryl. So there's 2 lines of thought there, but we're going to go with this strategy where Beryl is our main DPS. We're going to use her for that. Now, you can turn on this deep trauma. The problem is, again, you're going to be getting mental breakdowns a lot quicker. It's a lot harder game mode, and you really need to have that counseling available to you. But you do want to try and make it at least somewhat far into this, because if you can at least clear the first boss, you have the ability to get better gear. You have the ability to copy a card that you might have epiphanied whenever you first entered. So I don't think you always have to do this deep trauma, okay? I think it's perfectly fine for you to go in there with just the normal game mode and try and build up your character on the save data. So this is one of those procs, right? Where at the very start you have this encounter with this god, and you get some kind of thing. So sometimes you're going to get better gear. Sometimes you're going to get epiphanies and all that stuff. But for now, we will just get some gear, increase our health, and make our team a little bit tankier. Okay, so what I tend to do when I'm going through chaos. Two things. The first one, when I'm building up a new character, I will always pick their epiphany cards, right? I know that my other characters are stronger, but I don't care if I'm going to like clear this, right? I don't care that I'm going to clear the game mode. I just want to try and get as many great cards from barrel, best equipment on barrel that I possibly can. One of the things I like to do is look for these question mark nodes. This is where a lot of really interesting stuff can take place, different events, which give you special epiphanies. They can even give you better equipment. Fighting elites can also do this. Sometimes it can end your run early because, like I said, you really want to get to this first boss. So I'm looking at this here. There are some decent nodes on the top. So I think we're just going to go in the middle and I'll walk through this stuff. You'll get a general gist of what I'm talking about, and then we'll come back later at the end and we'll talk about why beating that first boss is so important. So the first thing I look for whenever I enter a fight is I always look for the top, like over by your deck. And in the top right corner, if you see something shiny, that means that there's an epiphany available on your card. So these first fights are really easy and you might be able to kill the enemies like in one go. But if you have that epiphany, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be trying to just sandbag to get to that epiphany. So even if it means not using up all of your AP, don't do it. It's okay if you take damage. It's okay if you get hit. It doesn't matter. You want to be able to draw until you achieve those epiphanies. So here you go. We ended up getting it. You can see by the light bulb over Rin's head, and the light over the deck is no longer in there. The reason why I mentioned the light bulb still being in the deck, sometimes you can trigger 2, 3, 4 epiphanies just from your cards in one battle, and you really want to just try and activate all of them before the battle's over. Okay, so we'll activate this epiphany. We'll get an additional epiphany card in Rin's deck now, so we can get out of here. So when it comes to battles, that's one of your main priorities. Also, after battles, you can trigger epiphanies as well. That tends to happen on elites a little bit more than others. Now here, you can go into the training and try and pick like random cards. That's hit or miss. I tend to like to try and keep my stress down and my HP up, but there are some really good cards in there sometimes. So it's kind of a gamble. If you have more credits than not, I think that's what you want to do. Okay, so here is our first, question mark node. So you can get, a blue piece of gear. Blue pieces of gear, you're most likely going to remove them anyway. You can increase your stress and then your max health. I tend to not like that. I like just removing the bad cards in my character's deck, especially the ones that I'm trying to build up, right? So I'll take out this launcher card. We don't really need that. It doesn't do anything for Barrel's overall strategy. So we'll get out of there. So we get 2 question mark nodes back to back. So here, this is where I always choose the epiphany. And this one's even better because it's a selected combatant. Some of them are random, but some of them are like specific. So if we can roll a 6 or above, we're going to get to choose Barrel to get an epiphany, which is awesome. Here, yeah, you can go for the equipment, but the epiphanies are just so much better. So let's see if we can get it. Sadly, we missed. Okay, so that's just bad luck. The odds were in our favor, but it is what it is. So we can go up and fight the elite because we have more question mark nodes up in that area. And with the fight being this early on, the bosses don't seem to be as hard. So here we do get an epiphany early, but let's see if there's more epiphanies in the deck. So we use this one. and we got our epiphany. So if you look, we epiphanied one card, but over in the deck area, you still have another epiphany available to you. So we certainly want to try and sandbag this fight to try and get that epiphany again. Okay, so the boss here is gaining a lot of shield. We'll put our shields up as well. We'll heal a little bit, and then we'll see if we can draw the epiphany card here. So we did. It's on Rin. We do want to have Dark Mist stance available to us, though, and this is why you always go for epiphanies, because you have the possibility of triggering like this, like godlike epiphany, where the type of effects that you can get on Rin, like these two cards to the left, this is a very normal epiphany, but you also have the possibility of getting this godlike epiphany where it has higher multipliers. It has the same kind of effects as maybe the lower types of epiphanies, but then you also get increasing card damage. So now that card just absolutely smacks. So now all of our epiphanies are gone. We can try and end this fight and get out of here because we got everything we wanted. But this is what I do. It's a bummer, of course, that we're not getting the cards for Barrel, but still, we already got a couple Epiphany cards for Barrel, so she's already better than what she was prior to us coming in here. So, enemy fights are good. I tend to like those question mark nodes, and here we have an Epiphany again. And there's no more epiphanies in our deck, so we know that this is the only one that we need to prioritize. All right, so we got an Outbreak of War card. This is awesome. That means we will start with this in our hand all the time. And this is triggering the wave mechanic for Mika, which is increased AP. So this is always good to have. And there's that busted card of ours that we have, that we just got. So it ate through all of the shield and then took down the enemy's HP to a pretty good level. So I think what we'll do is I'll show you maybe just one or two more nodes, and then I will join you whenever we're back at the end of the level, or whenever we trigger another epiphany. So let's just look at these two question marks to just give you some more examples of what I tend to look for in these events. I do want to show you as well, sometimes like the question mark events like this, they'll say like increase your credits by 80, but then you also have the ability to like take place in the event. You don't know what you're going to get, but you're just going to do it, right? So here, now you're choosing values. So what the event gave us is it now gives us the option to get increased credits, where before it was just 80. So because we joined the event, we were able to take part in the game. We got a beneficial roll there, and we got 150 credits instead of 80. So pretty nice. So then we'll go for this last question mark, and then I'll be back to you guys. So this is another one, right? Where, yeah, you can roll for these random cards, and some of the cards are absolutely nuts, but we're trying to build up Barrel. That is the whole point. So this is random. Remember the other one we rolled for to try and select her. This one, just got unlucky and we hit Rin. So instead of Barrel, we hit Rin. Okay. So I will be back whenever we get to the end or whenever we trigger another epiphany. So I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so we've made it to the first boss in this chaos run, because there's two on certain levels. I think there's eventually 3 stages. I could be wrong. I haven't gotten that far yet. But Yeah, the main goal is to just get to this boss. So once we beat this boss, I'll show you why that's important. And the main reason is usually whenever you beat these bosses, I think most of you know, is you have the ability to copy a card that you've already gotten. So if you've gotten some crazy, really good epiphany, like the one that I showed you with Rin, where it's like that God epiphany, that's the one that you want to try and duplicate if it's available to you. Okay, so we do have an epiphany on one of Barrel's cards here. Let's see what we get. Okay, so it's an epiphany to itself, which is really cool. Uh, I really like this version. So it starts at 3 AP, but it does have retain, so that means you don't discard it whenever you end your turn with it in your hand. So eventually it can be a 486 multiplier. Uh, with zero cost. So I tend to like picking that one. So look at the damage there. It's really cool. I know we missed on the morale here, but our Mika is about to get stressed. Okay. Let's see here. We'll just gain some AP. Try and do as much damage as we can with Rin. We'll break the shield. All right, so now he's bringing in more minions. We'll do this. We did pull our crazy awesome Rin card. So I actually think we're going to use our ultimate on this boss, and then we'll use this crazy awesome Rin card that we got earlier in our chaos run. Yeah, so it's gonna do 1,000 damage. It's very satisfying. Okay, so once the first boss goes down, see, that's where that copy card comes in. I think it's in every single one. Now, yeah, none of these are like we're not missing out on our Rin. So we will just take the barrel card. This might not be the greatest save data that we get, but at the same time, this is pretty good. So Beryl does have some good upgrade cards, so we want to increase her damage with this ring. That was pretty nice. So when it comes to the Chaos Loop, right? Uh, as you go up in stages in this game mode, you'll get more of these legendary drops. This is a pretty good piece just for my Rin. So I'll do this. I'm not going to be farming anything else. So even if you run out of those tickets, you can use your Aether to get that. You're going to need a lot of these core of memories to level up your gear. Same thing here as well. So XP to your account and then some unit stuff is always a bonus. So this is the place that you're aiming to get to, right? If you get to the interior and you don't, succeed, it's okay. But I'm going to try and beat this without my barrel getting any kind of mental state. But if she does, I can show you what ends up happening. So I'll be back again. So, real quick, guys, this is another one of those events where, yeah, the stress stinks, but you never know what's inside of these things. I know it's kind of like a gambling aspect, but usually events where you have to like travel or explore an area tend to be pretty good. So let's see what this one does. Okay, so we can battle him and we get this attack card that costs 2 and it gives 350% damage and 3 retribution. So, okay, let's try that. Let's see that. I don't know if we're going to be able to put that on our barrel, but if we can, that seems pretty good. All right, so it does stink that the water arrow is the thing that gets the boost. But whatever, it is what it is. Okay. This, by the way, is the card that we got through that epiphany, which has been pretty awesome. Let's see if we can draw. Okay, great. Drew a card that we can't even use. I think we're just going to heal up here. So these are our retain cards. They're kind of just getting stronger. But this boss has become quite tough. Okay, so we can charge shot here. Okay, so at least we're going to break the shield. Ooh, close. Then he gained a shield again. But it does look like we're going to be able to beat him. So that's good. I think that is the card that we're going to get is the hammer. So our stress is really climbing on our Rin here. But this is where we'll take him down. All right, and get this fancy card. So let's see if Beryl gets to equip this or if it's just Rin. Okay, yeah, so we're going to get to convert here. I'd say one of the bummers is the fact that we don't have like a really nice one that we want to convert, but we'll do it on the shield. So here you go, 2 AP to do 350 damage and 2 retribution. So that's another example of the events, right? All right, I'll see you when we get to the end here. Okay, sorry, another example of event. This is where you want to do the event. All right, so an angel guy comes down. Let's see what he asks us to do. So here you go. Select one card to Epiphany, right? This, when you draw a card, 10% damage, like this is it's a good piece of gear, but I care about the Epiphanies. And it looked like you were able to pick. Yeah, so now we're going to upgrade, one of these Epiphany cards. So the opening found since I don't know. Let's just do the unlimited firepower. Okay, so an upgrade means that this will last forever until the match is over. I kind of like this one. Yeah. So let's just increase our damage on our Beryl. So she can be kind of a sub DPS now, or she can be our main DPS. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, all right, sorry. Now I'll see you whenever we get to the end. All right, final boss. Let's see what we can do here. We do have to pay attention to this count. That was a good card to draw. And I think we'll just let that go. Okay. Let's see if we can draw. No. We'll use this here. Try and draw a ring card that activates. Nice. Okay. That's what we wanted. Because we can get off our big hit here. Jeez, look at that damage. It's so satisfying. We'll use charge attack. We'll let this one creep up a little bit. But Beryl has not gone through trauma yet. So that's awesome. That means if we beat this level, we're going to be able to get out of here with this save data, which is the whole point of this whole thing, right? Was to build her up. I don't want to have to. All right, whatever. Take this one out. It's going to be close because our Mika is going to go into. Is going to have a mental breakdown. Look at the damage here. It's nuts. 1100 damage. Okay. So, whoops, I should have got rid of that. Okay, so he's creeping up. We did get one last epiphany here. Ooh, very nice. Let's thin our deck here. Draw 3 cards. Okay. we might be able to. Okay, so now Mika's going to go into trauma. Yep. Okay. And this is where it gets close. I think we still got it here. I'm going to use this now just because, yeah, I want to try and break her out of this. Oh, wow, that was really important. I'm pretty sure we would have got crushed there if that didn't go through. There's the big damage from our Rin. Big damage from Barrel. See, he does so much damage. And then got him. Okay. Cool. So we ended up able to clear that. So that was pretty nice. No trauma or anything like that. We can copy this card. That's the whole point of this run, is to try and boost up Barrel. And we did get... Ooh. Interesting. All right. Well, we got a, mythical piece of gear? Might as well slap that on Barrel. Here's our Chaos Loot. When a card is exhausted. Okay, we won't get that one. So, ended up beating that Chaos entry while trying to level up our Barrel, and it seemed like it was pretty successful. So, you'll see the Mika and the Rin both went through trauma. So, because we don't have any counseling available, what ends up happening is the following here. So we would have most likely had our data corrupted, but we actually can just delete these because they're not very good, and we ended up saving our Barrel. So there we go. Anyway, guys, that's usually what I do to build up characters, how I get better chaos runs, stuff like that. Hope it helped, and catch you on the next one. See ya.